Don't come away, swoop around the outside. Joshua Germany putting up an almighty defence. Garrett Kaler taking his second win. Stephen King for Pulse eSports makes it 3 for 3 at Oran Park. Andy Fox wins! Henry Morse makes it the double and takes another win here at Watkins Glen. Blake comes around the final corner and across the line. Jameson Hudson has done it. Championship rival Morgan Burkhardt wins again. And there we have it, two-time Jetta Cup champion, Jake Cranston. Good evening, guys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega Racing. We are here for round 10, the finale. It's Oran Park Raceway again. We are here for the third season in a row. It has always popped up a good race. Well, let's say dramatic race. It's always popped up interesting incidents. And to be fair, they've always been exciting, so I hope I'm not jinxing tonight's final. The temperature is 41 degrees out there in Australia. That is hot. It's in the afternoon, so no danger of a night race this time, a surprise night race. The sun might set or get a little bit orange maybe towards the feature race time, but we'll see how that goes. I am Jack Johns, your host, broadcasting on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and of course VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch. If you haven't been over there to visit them, you should. They've got a very big event coming up this weekend, the VCO Infinity event, the 24-hour race where they do 24 races in 24 hours. Teams of drivers racing 5 different cars, I think it was, over a number of different tracks. Great series. Gutted we can't take part in it this time round. Took part in it last time round, and it was actually tremendously fun. So thank you, of course, to VCO eSports for partnering with us for yet another season. Thank you, Iku, their photographer, who's been taking fantastic pictures all season. And if you want to see some of those pictures and some highlights from the season, well, from the whole season, this season, I'm going to keep saying season, theracingline.org. You can see it on your screens there at the bottom of the info. Theracingline.org is our website, and you can see all of his lovely pictures over there. GT Omega discount code TRL is still obviously up and running to get yourself 5% off all of GT Omega products. And that is enough about that. Let's get started with round 10, the finale, Oran Park Raceway, the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega. I can see some of you in chat already with just about 8 minutes to go of practice. You can have the track map on your screens as well, so you can see people going round on the nice scenic cam. And look how close those times are. Oran Park, welcome back. We've got another Project Dynamic 1-2 up there at the top. I've got a stat for you in a minute, actually, with Project. In fact, I'll do it now. I'll go and find that stat. I had a stat about Project Dynamic. I think it was. I'm just going to double check. Project Dynamic, the 2 blue lines that you see at the top in first and second are for Thurtle and Burkhardt. They have got more than half of the pole positions this season. Let me just double check that. Yes, 5 pole positions, 3 for Burkhardt, 2 for Thurtle. Out of the 9 possible pole positions. The other 4 are all taken by different drivers. King, Cranston, Dupart and Downing. Dupart and Downing, both first-time pole sitters this season. 6 drivers have seen pole position. Project Dynamic are the only team to have drivers score more than 1 pole. Alexander van der Velde not so lucky this time round. 7 drivers have taken the top spot. Morgan Burkhardt and Jake Cranston with the most wins. Morgan has 7, 4 for Jake Cranston. John Bailiff and Henry Morse have 2 each. Arthur Thurtle, Joshua Germany and Timu Toika have 1 each. 17 of the 36 drivers have sat on the podium this season, which is fantastic news. 9 drivers have taken fastest lap. And here's a stat for you. Last time out, for ZFG fans in the audience, I see you out there. Martin Wallace, who's currently sitting in 14th place, took a fastest lap point last time out at Okayama. So I don't know if he knew that, but he did. And, well, that's that. Driver of the day. Everyone's had a different driver of the day. And the highest scoring round so far is still round 4, which I don't think will be beaten. Because to beat that, you have to get the maximum amount of points, which is pole, 2 wins, and 2 fastest laps, which Jake Cranston nearly got, but didn't get one of the fastest laps because Henry Morse took it away from him. Quick catch up on chat. Christoph Plays is here again. Good to see you. Glad you could join us. Andy Fox is backing the Win It or Bin It boys from the stands tonight. He's not racing, unfortunately, with no rig, being flown back from Germany. A special Sim Expo event, I believe. 1-2 for Stevie and John in the feature race tonight. You heard it here first, says Andy Fox. Christoph Plays says he's back. Good luck to me and all the drivers. Yeah, okay, good luck to me. Why not? But the drivers especially. Let me pop open a cold cider. Biggie Morello in Twitch chat. Good to see you. Says, let's go. Good evening, Jack. Says Zero Forks Giving Racing. They're here to support the boys. You'll never beat the race start from Donny in the feature race season 1. For those that haven't seen it, go watch. That'll be referencing... Oh, look at that little slide. That'll be referencing Donny's famous jump start after starting near the front. And then going straight off at turn 2 into the wall. Helby Raccoon says here to cheer on ZFG. I'll take credit for that. I taught Martin everything he knows. Can't wait till he reads this, as Zero Forks Giving Racing. 5 minutes to go. Let's show you. Someone said about the truck. I think it was Christoph Plays. No truck this time. It's a flight because we're flying over from Okayama all the way down south to Australia to a housing estate now, as Oran Park no longer exists, but it has been immortalised here on iRacing. And there you go, 4,800. Oh, that was quite a far flight, wasn't it? I'll tell you what we can do. Actually, we haven't seen this since round 1 this season, because if I'm honest, I forgot how to make them. But last season, I made these for all of the races. Check this out. Oran Park GP Australia. This is our track. It's 2.6 kilometers long, 1.62 miles, with, is it 3 sectors? 1, 2, 3, 4 sectors. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sectors, in fact. 2 overtake zones, turn 2 and the final turn, and the speed trap is at the end of the straight towards turn 1, which is extremely fast. Established in 1962, February 1962, there's 12 turns in total, and demolished in January 2010. That is 12 years ago now. That's insane. And that is Oran Park GP. Unfortunately, I couldn't update this one, but I can show you the previous winner from Season 1. Oran Park GP is Stephen King. He won both of the races, so he will be one to watch today, although currently he's sitting P6, just ahead of teammate Joshua Germany and John Bailiff. Who's in chat? That's Christoph says, nice graphic of the track. Where is my comrade Vince? He'll pop up and say hello. I'm sure I can see all of you watching across the 4 channels, and I welcome you all here. I'm not sure if I can get the points done before that time ticks over in 3 minutes. Do I accept my own challenge? Let's go for it. A rundown of what's going on in the season. Meatball Motorsport are in 12th place with 523 points. If they can score the most points they've ever scored in the history of the Jetta Cup, they could take P11 from Team 12, who currently have 666 points, with just Dan Blake holding down the fort for that team. Lurchus Gaming have passed Team 12 last time out. They are now in P10. Frogleap Juice Racing makes it 9 teams into the 1,000 points bracket. They're still chasing down Zero Forks Giving. Goldwing Motorsport are there with 1,200 points pretty much. Team ORD are ahead of them, just in P6, so those two also fighting closely. Win It or Bin It there in P5, kind of by themselves, but only 50 points behind Masters of Talk actually. Project Dynamic up there in P3, 1,500 points, and then Street Casual still chasing down Pulsars Esports, 1,700 points, 1,900 points for Pulsars Esports. Could be the first time we see, I mean, the points changed this season, to be honest, but the points system, even though it's changed, we could see one team break into that 2,000 point barrier. 2 minutes to go through the drivers' standings. Here's what it looks like then. So far, keep an eye on this today because it's the final round, final chance to score points. Rod Askew, Ray Oliver, Sebastian Hall, Michael Carraday, Weiswanger, Murray and Corpus down there in your bottom 6. Looking close between some of these. Dan Thornton and Brandon Hughes, Ike LeQuay and Yeezus Samundre, Dan Blake, Andy Fox, Jerry Agard, Dave Kober, Alex van der Velde and Donny Henriksen up there, meandering his way into the top 20 is Donny Henriksen now. Arthur Thurtle's climbing up as well, up into P19 after his little vacation, his honeymoon. Stephen Burns now up into P18. Sam Van Olst, P17, is also on a climb, 2 points behind Greg Otley. Jameson Huffman's up there, 14th for Martin Wallace. Eric Malenfeld, that is a man who deserves more points than he currently has with some of his issues. Patrick Dupart and Andre Mayerek separated by 1 point there in 11th and 12th. Timu Toika, Carl Ridley, Dan Downing, Henry Morse and Austin Farr are close together. Joshua Germany in P5. John Bailiff in P4. Jake Cranston, Stephen King and Morgan Burkhardt looking fairly close and probably likely those three fighting for the title today. John Bailiff still within a mathematical chance, but looking unlikely. Henry Morse, actually, news from the Henry Morse Paddock fan club for the Street Casuals fans. Unfortunately, he actually lost out on 30 points last time out after being disqualified from the sprint race when he was deemed to gain an unfair advantage on the final lap of the sprint, which put him in P12, which gets him reverse pole, which would have helped him win the feature, of course. His win stands, but he did lose his result in the first race where he gained the advantage. But he's still in with a chance of catching the two in front of him, which is Austin Farr and Joshua Germany. I'm sure he will be looking at doing that. Although... Oh, no, I can see him. He's up there in P4. I was going to say I couldn't see him on my timing screen. Fixed setup, says Frederick Lejeune. It is a fixed setup because you cannot change anything in this car apart from the fuel level, and everyone has the same fuel level, which is 1 gallon, which lasts them the sprint race, but it will not last them the feature race, which is why they have to pit stop as qualifying gets underway. We should start seeing some of the cars coming out of the pit lane, all of the cars coming out of the pit lane. How's that for a far away camera view? All of these cameras. Oh, that's a nice one. There we go. Now you can see them all cruising out. Who's going to save and wait for space? Who is going to join this train? Let's have a catch up on chat whilst we watch these guys roar through with their diesel engines. Does anyone know who won this season's production car challenge? Glad you mentioned it, Foxy Andy. That is, and a well-deserved, for the first time, Jonathan Bailiff. Where is he on track? I'll tell you what, in honour of Jonathan Bailiff's championship, let's go on board with him and we'll watch his quali lap. He's chosen to follow Martin Wallace and Alejandro Caraday is his current space in qualifying. I don't know. Well, I don't race in this series, so I don't know if that's a good place to be or not. But I'm sure time will tell as he comes around through the final sector. But John Bailiff wins his first Sim Lab Championship after a vigorous 6 seasons of battling. Some of them really, really tight and close racing. Andy Fox, Kakula says some goon. I wonder if Iku keeps up with stuff like that. Anyway. John Bailiff is about to start his lap. Fix up this series. I've already answered that. Ostap Bender says, when starts the next season? Not sure. Christoph plays. Street Casuals could have easily won if it wasn't for the VR problem of Eric and the few crashes that happened. Eric definitely, I mean, it's not his fault. Whoa, look at that slide from John into turn 1. Alejandro Caraday's gone off already in turn 2. Turn 2 is a problem zone here. Many people go off there from braking late. And also... braking late and just braking on the dirt. Very easy to go off at turn 2. I think I can still see Ikalakwe there, and that's Henry Morse also off. If their dots go orange on that track map in the top right, apart from Masters of Talk who are always orange, it means they've gone off track. Street Casuals, yeah, we said that. Owen Ellis says hello. Hello, Owen. Good to see you once again. Kakula says the decal isn't your face enough. I don't get it. Frederick Lejeune says, I found this league at iRacing's website. What? I don't know. Oh, you mean like in the search bar. I thought iRacing wouldn't have promoted us. Not yet. Maybe one day. I'm still waiting for them to acknowledge us as we see John come around the final corner. Look how close the wall is on the right-hand side as he comes around the final corner. Is he going to set a lap? First times go on the board. It's King and Germany 1-2. John Bailiff goes P4. Donnie Henriksen up there in P2. Corpus 5th. Otley up into 6th. Wallace and Agar get pushed down. Amundere joins P9. I think I mentioned all those drivers. Weisfanger goes on to the bottom in P10. Toika up into P7. That's Downing up into P3. Majorek in P12. I'm going to see any more times. Sebastian Holmichael goes up into P7. Arthur Thurtle goes straight up into P2. There he is for the Project Dynamic car by himself. Dan Thornton up into P15, jumps above Jan Weisfanger at the bottom of the field so far with a 118. I'm not going to lie, the 118 needs to be improved. It's the easiest way I can say that in practice. We saw pretty much all the drivers in the 116 as Patrick Dupart goes up into P6 for Team ORD. There, the number 23 car, a super strong showing. And actually his main rival now is Andre Majorek. They're only 1 point apart, both of the ORD boys, and they're in P11 and 12. I would say I would argue, even though that they've had... have they had wins before? I think they have had wins before with the Smith twins. Dan Blake goes up into P11, not twins. Chris Smith and Ryan Smith. Joshua Germany and Dan Downing swap over positions. Chris Smith and Ryan Smith did very well for ORD in Season 1. Ryan Smith had issues in Season 2, unfortunately. Agard up into P5. John Bailiff takes pole at the moment, just 1/10 ahead. Let's change that to gap so that you can see how close it is between these guys. And Jake Cranston, your current championship, not leader, he's P3, but your defender, your two-time Jetta Cup champion there, 2,000ths off of pole so far. The number 1 car is looking to make the comeback of all comebacks. Arthur Thurtle goes up into first. That is an Austin Farr up there in P4 as well for Street Casuals. That's good to see. Jesus Amundere, he's one to watch. I don't know if Lurchus are in chat. Lurchus Gaming need to be in chat for this round because this... And we need to change Jesus' flag to Australian because this... For some reason, just like Kyle Ridley at Twin Ring Motegi, there's something about Oran Park that sets Jesus Amundere alight. Because he's fast around here, and I do not know why. Let's give him some TV time. Where is he? There he is, in the Lurchus gaming car. Jesus Amundere. Look at him go through this section at the back. Very fast and flowy, a little bit blind. He's up in the top 10 on qualifying pace right now, which is insane for Lurchus Gaming. Now, if you watched closely the intro, we'll probably play the intro again at the end as a nice little send-off goodbye before we head off. Don't forget, next week it's the celebration race where we'll do something a bit fun. And it's open, so if people wanted to join the celebration race next week, same time, you can join it, and you can watch the stream back afterwards. That's no problem. It's free, no costs. No password, first come, first served. Jesus Amundere is featured in the intro, having a famous accident here last season with Stephen King, who won both races in the first season. He sits currently P6. Arthur Thurtle back to the top of the times. If he takes pole position today, there's only 2 minutes left. He's the only driver I've seen in the 15s, so that is insane in itself. But the session probably cooling down as time goes on. I don't know. I'm not sure. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. If he can take pole position today, then that makes it 3 for 3 against Arthur Thurtle and Morgan Burkhardt for pole positions this season. 6 pole positions would go to Project Dynamic out of the 10, meaning they keep their... Well, they'd have 60% of the poles this season. That's nice and easy maths. Might do 10 rounds all the time. Let's see. The 1 second has nearly covered the entire grid. It has indeed. Oh, I'm missing chat. Hang on. People have been popping off. What's this? Not blaming him, just unlucky. Osman Kaya says hi. We need all drivers in the 116s. Definitely. This is better than F122 season. Yes. 100th off pole and your P5, says Andy Fox. Crazy. Do you know when the registration for the league opens? Not yet. Season 4 has not been confirmed, Frederick, I'm afraid. But it will be when, don't worry, in the Discord, for example, and on the website, it will be announced when it gets announced, if it gets announced. Meant attempt, says Andy Fox. Vince Cussy says, oops, a bit late to the party, lost track of time. Don't worry, you're still here. Hey Christoph, hey Jack. Vince, I'm so glad to see you here. I'm glad to see you all here as we enter the last 30 seconds of qualifying. Is anyone going to improve their times? I'm not sure these two boys are going to make it. Morgan Burkhardt is about to cross the line. He's in 11th right now. Is he going to jump up? Morgan Burkhardt, 11th place, the number 2 car, jumps up into P7. Alexander van der Velde, I don't know if he is going to cross the line. Where's he right now? He is in 28th place. Is he going to jump up? Alexander van der Velde for Project Dynamic. Is he going to move up the field? I don't think he is. Oh, look at Timu Toika. That's the wall. 5 seconds left. People are going to cross the line. Are they going to improve? I don't think we're going to see anyone move. No, none of the Pulsus boys change, and qualifying is done. Well, let's get the grid. Arthur Thurtle then makes it 3-all in the qualifying battle between Project Dynamic drivers versus Morgan Burkhardt. John Bailiff is in a prime position in P2. Jake Cranston right behind him. Stephen King next to him. The clash of the Titans up there at the moment. Austin Farr is trying to crash that party up there in P5. Daniel Downing, Morgan Burkhardt, Donnie Henriksen, Joshua Germany, Carl Ridley, Andre Marek and Jesus Amundere ends up in P12. An amazing qualifying for Jesus Jesus Amundere. Morgan Burkhardt, your current championship leader, is in P7, so keep an eye on him. Timu Toika, Henry Morse, Jerry Agard, Sam Van Olst, Wallace, Burns, Depart, and Otley in P20. Corpus, Manenveld, Huffman, Lequay, Holmichael, Weiswanger, Hughes, Van der Velde, Thornton, Blake, and Carraday round off your field. We've got 31 drivers out there today. Wow. Couldn't miss out on the Jettas. We got some tough corners today. That'd be a great race. iRacing would be lucky to have the racing line, the best racing on YouTube. Keep it. Oh, thank you, Chris. That's a well-needed compliment. Thank you, all of you who are here. It's been a season. It has been a season, and as you can see, it is hotting up. I think this will be the best view of the start. Arthur Thurtle is there. Oh, actually, let's keep the camera around about Jake, shall we? Because that looks like we can see everyone. Let's get that race order up. Finally, it's over. I get my Monday evenings back, says Kakula. You will miss us. Don't be silly. You can enjoy your Christmas whilst you can. 20 seconds left. John Bailiff does make it to the grid with their orange livery ever since Halloween. They got rid of the pumpkins, kept the orange. They liked it. It's one of John's favourite colours. Arthur Thurtle on pole, John Bailiff in second. The lights are off and the race has started. Looks like Stephen King got a great start compared to Jake Cranston. He might actually have the run. Austin Farr's also got a great start as they all head down towards turn 1. Are they going to defend and start fighting down towards turn 2? As we see, oh, look at them all flying down through there. Arthur Thurtle comes into turn 1 and now into turn 2. This is the danger corner. Is anyone going to outbrake themselves? Jake Cranston's going to go around the outside of John Bailiff. Is he going to make moves? Jake Cranston looks like he was in trouble at the start, but actually now he looks like he's attacking John Bailiff all of a sudden. Oh, there's some cars. That's what we wanted to see. Dan Thornton and Jan Weiswanger off at turn 2. How? Quick replay, and then we'll get back to the action. Oh, Dan went on the dirt. Okay, Jan Weiswanger, a passenger. We knew we would see it, and that is how that happened. That's what happens when you brake on the dirt, but they're going to continue their race. Jake Cranston is up into P2. John Bailiff just cuts off the nose of Stephen King, who stuck it into the S's, the famous S, where he had his accident with Jesus Amundere. They've got to be careful. They do not want a meatball through here as we got a smoking car. Look at that rubbing from Sam Van Olst and Martin Wallace, who's both going to go off. That's an ORD car getting involved as well. I think Sam Van Olst has kept it out the wall. Patrick Depart moves up, as does Stephen Burns, as does Greg Otley. Huffman is side by side with him. Manenveld behind. Huffman maybe making places as we hear more contact into the final corner. That's Eric Manenveld, who's trying to go round the outside of Stephen Burns, and Sam Van Olst is also there trying to race through. Look at Joshua Germany battling with Morgan Burkhardt there. That is looking really close as they head down towards turn 1. Joshua Germany on the inside, Morgan Burkhardt on the outside. Who's going to come out on top? They got Dan Downing in front. Oh no, there's contact there. That's Donny Alpha Henriksen, who went off on the dirt. He's caused a bit of trouble there. Joshua Germany has come out on top, but Morgan Burkhardt's going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places as your championship leader, who still holds on into P11. And now look who he's got behind him. It's Henry Morse. He's taken a win last time out. He's trying to push Timu Toika through. He's side by side with Morgan Burkhardt in Project Dynamic. Round the outside goes Henry. Another rear netcode contact on that. It's happened so much to Henry Morse this season. Jesus Amundere still holding on to P13. If he can gain a position, he'll be on reverse pole position for the race. Dangerous track limits indeed. Donny Alpha Henriksen goes down the order as a result of that crash. Van Olst and Burns still fighting out through the S's. It's getting dangerous through there as Burkhardt and Toika are also going side by side. I think Burkhardt has made a move there. I want to see if we can watch a replay of how he got that done, because it looked like, oh, there you go, Timu Toika just got another wheel on the dirt, slides it round. He actually hands that to him, and then Henry Morse goes through, and then Jesus Amundere. Is Jesus Amundere going to gain P12 here? I think he does. Let's go back live. I will be, I'm not going to lie, I'll be buzzing if that man gets pole position. We should all be rooting for Jesus Amundere today, because sticks it out for season. Look at that for a shot. 2 Meatball Motorsport cars side by side through turn 1 into turn 2. That was nice. Yeah, lap 3 of 11, and the battling continues as Henriksen makes contact with Greg Otley there. A little bit of a rear contact. Manenveld's going to get a slowdown probably for going that wide. Using that little run-off road as we see 2, 3, 4 cars battling through here. Corpus gets a little bit of a nudge. Ika Lequay is under trouble from Alexander Van der Velde. Brandon Hughes, Greg Otley's come up on my screen as a crash, but we just saw that happen. It wasn't a real, He didn't stop. He's not out of the race. He continues, and he's in P19. Jake Cranston now a second behind Arthur Thurtle. Arthur is absolutely flying here. His fastest lap so far are 1:16.1. Jake Cranston holds the fastest lap so far with a 1:16.0. But it's only 5 thousandths of a second between them. So very close indeed as we see them. Let's have a look at that big zoomed out shot again. I don't like the little jumps it makes, but there we go. Into turn 2, the leaders go. And at the back, I think we see some more fights brewing. David Corpus is going to have a look to the inside of Donnie Henriksen down towards turn 1. They slide it round. Is Donnie going to break on the dirt again? No. Corpus gets that move done. Lovely stuff. Oh, someone just went off. That's Brandon Hughes. There he goes. Yep. And that's what happens. Turn 2. What did I say? Danger zone. Morgan Burkhardt now takes the fastest lap of the race, though. He's in P10. He's done a 15.9. Has Morgan Burkhardt. A 1 minute 15. The only driver in that zone in this race right now. So keep an eye, because he will not be slouching. He needs to make position gains. Damage limitation for him right now. He's got the championship lead, but his rivals are in 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and his teammate is leading the way. He's got Jameson Huffman out there as well in P15. Alexander Van der Velde is in P23. Where is Jesus Amundere? He is in P12. I want to see Lurchus back in the back into chat, because they are oh yeah, the track map. Sorry, I thought it was on the yeah, I want to see Lurchus back in chat, because they should be. It's Oran Park. Lurchus Gaming fans, where have you been? For Guelphio, who else? Valdez, all of you come back in the chat. I know ZFG are here. Where are ZFG right now? They're not having a time of it. Greg Otley is in P19, Wallace 28th, and Hughes is in the pits with a meatball on lap 5 out of 11. Remember, the feature is twice as long as Ikalakwe is now off. Where is that? It's turn 2. How did it happen? Shall we have a look? Let's have a quick look. Replay of Ika round the outside of Alexander Van der Velde onto the sand. Around he goes. Keeps it out of the wall. Yes, he does. And he can continue on his way. You cannot warn them enough. You cannot warn these drivers about turn 2 enough. You push this much. Oh, John Bailiff cutting the grass. Oh, do you know what? To bring back a famous phrase from season 1, tossing the salad was John Bailiff there on the exit of that corner. But look at the gap. It's coming down. Someone's hit the wall. I think that was Bailiff again. 7/10 of a second the gap now, as we see Henriksen and Van der Velde fighting it out back here through the S's. Van der Velde coming out on top. Henriksen still looking racy, even with the damage that he got earlier on. Someone making contact behind. I've got a feeling that was Seb into the back of Eric. Austin Farr and King looking extremely close, but not wanting to fight because they don't want to lose those top 3. Oh, I say that. Austin Farr goes for a look to the inside, and Stephen King defends vigorously in towards turn 3. Such a chaotic start. Let's have a catch up on chat. Come on, Donny, says Hal 74. Show us the track film in the top right. Done. Jake nearly in DRS range. Off-road Jetta. Ask a moderator for position before posting a link. Ice. Oh, okay. I want to offer promotion of your channel. Viewers, followers, views, chatbots. The price is lower than any... No. Get rid of the price. Don't want no price promotion. Thank you, though. Another off-road Jetta. Smoothly kept out of the wall. Giga Chad team shall push through today. Let's go. Greg says 180 hitter. That's a catch-up on chat. It's lap 6 of 11 as Stephen King cuts the same bit of grass that John Bailiff did. That's going to see a fair bit of action today. Joshua Germany is still in P7. Dan Downing for Goldwing has had an almighty last phase of this season. Got himself a girlfriend. She's probably watching and supporting. Maybe that's why he's doing so well. This is the boost that he needed. So thank you. I'm sure he is thanking you, and he'll be happy with this. Look at that, P6. He'll be starting P6 or 7 in the next one if he finishes there. And I imagine, I think last time out he got 2 P10s. So gaining those points is Daniel Downing after a up and downing first half of the season, we said. That's what his name is in Discord right now. Andre Marek is up 3 places in P8 for ORD, chasing down Joshua Germany. Carl Ridley is up 1. Morgan Burkhardt is the only one at a loss after the contact caused by Donny Alpha Henriksen into the back of Joshua Germany at turn 2. The biggest gainer so far is Jameson Huffman, who you could argue was a little bit lower than he should have been in qualifying, but he's up 8 places. Alexander van der Velde is up 7 places for Project Dynamic. Alejandro Caraday for Meatball Motorsport is up 6 places at the moment there in 25th place. And these two near the front, Jake Cranston and John Bailiff, are the only ones that have swapped over. Oh, look at Jake closing that gap now. 4 tenths to Arthur Thurtle with 4 laps to go. This is going to get Arthur on the ropes. They cannot afford, Project Dynamic, to let Jake Cranston win. So is it going to come to blows right now? Because this is where it's happening. Let's go on the nose of Jake Cranston. This is what it looks like. He's catching 2.5 tenths is the gap. That is Arthur Thurtle ahead. Lap 8 of 11. 3 laps to go. 9, 10, 11 after this. So 4 laps including this one. 3 tenths the gap. Down towards turn 3. He's going to keep his nose to the right a little bit just to try and intimidate Arthur. Brakes a little bit later. Carries the speed in. Avoids the inside curve. Gets a nice smooth exit. And away he goes. Where's the dashboard? Let's have a look at what gears he's in as well. Little quick dab of the brakes down to 3rd. Avoids that curve as well. Gets a nice smooth exit. Ezekiel Aquay passes Dan Thornton for 28th place. Into here, just a nice little lift straight back on the throttle. Actually lost a little bit to Arthur there. Arthur seems good through that corner. Down through the right left section now. Nice and smooth through here. On top of Jake Cranston we are right now. Into this left-hander. Cuts that curve nicely. Runs out a nice little bit of wide on that exit curve. Flat out through here. And he's still within 3 tenths of a second. Now, we saw Jake have the advantage here last lap. He's going to brake as late as he dares. Very close to the grass on the right-hand side. That's risky. Especially this late in the game. 3 tenths the gap now onto the main straight. Arthur potentially feeling the pressure. Are his tyres gone? I don't know. Behind Jake Cranston, it looks like this. That's John Bailiff. Stephen King is right behind him. But let's close back. 1.5 tenths the gap now. Down towards turn 2 they go. It's going to be very easy for Arthur Thurtle to get spooked, but he's a high I-rating driver. He's handled this pressure before. He races very, very well in GT4s, does Arthur Thurtle. Trust me from first-hand experience, we had some dices at that one Silverstone race I did with him, and it was genuinely really fun. As Greg Otley seems to have had an issue. He's been passed by Van Olst and Corpus, but look at this. Jake Cranston trying to find every little bit of advantage he can. The gap now getting closer as they pretty much touch through that fast right-hander. Through the S's is unlikely, but now John Bailiff is being brought into this fight with 3 laps to go, including this one. Jesus Amundere is still P12. He's half a second ahead of Jerry Agard. Jerry Agard will be trying to get that pole position as well, I'm sure. But Jake Cranston is all over the back of Arthur Thurtle. Is he going to have a look into the final corner? Is Jake Cranston? No, he sits behind, and John Bailiff is going to try and stick his nose in on the number 1 car, but can't quite get it done there. This has brought John right into the race. Austin Farr and Stephen King are going to want a bit of this, and Dan Downing wants to try and get involved as well. As Jake Cranston goes to the inside, I think he might have got it. Arthur Thurtle might have let him have the inside there, but he's going to hold him tight as they go down towards turn 1. Comes out wide. He's onto the dirt. Is Arthur Thurtle. He's going to go off. There's contact there into turn 2. Jake Cranston nudges him a little bit wide, and Jake Cranston takes the lead. John Bailiff is going to try and come through as well, and John Bailiff will be on the outside of the next corner though. Can he hold it? Arthur Thurtle's going to go deep. There's contact made again. Jake Cranston now going to run away. He's going to keep that position. Stephen King's going to try and gain here. Jake Cranston's looking strong. Lap 10 of 11. Stephen King gets defended from Arthur Thurtle. John Bailiff up into P2. Half a second the gap. He's got 2 laps to find it. That is going to be a tough ask, but it could be done. Dan Downing in P6 chasing down Austin Farr, who's lifted off a little bit. Joshua Germany, Andre Majorek, Kyle Ridley, Morgan Burkhardt there in P10. Henry Morse is in P11. He'll be starting second. Jesus Amundere, though, may be on for a Lurchus Gaming pole position there in P12 with Jerry Agard right behind him, and Timu Toika also. But with Henry Morse starting next to him, you would argue that Jesus might be in trouble. Morse and Burkhardt are having another go. 3-way battle, let's go. Hello, everyone, says Elena up and downing. Lol. Valdez is in chat. I just realised it was Valdez that said that comment about Jesus. Thank you for being here. He needs you. But Jake Cranston pulling that gap now. These guys making the regular mistake of fighting each other rather than the 2-time Jetta Cup champion. Every single time. 48 people across the 4 channels, I think, watching live right now. And this has been A strong performance from Mr. Cranston, who started in third. He's up 2 positions. Arthur Thurtle is down 2 positions, and John Bailiff is where he started. We're on the white flag lap. This is the final lap. Is anyone going to make a move in this field? Austin Farr was looking racy then. These 4 are looking really close. But Jake Cranston looks to have done all he needs to do in this race. Lap 11 of 11. We've got another race after this. Don't forget the feature race where they have pit stops. Brandon Hughes has had another accident where the final corner, by the looks of it, into the wall. You can see the smoke up ahead. Look at the dust cloud as Austin Farr is looking close to Stephen King. Is he going to have a dive up the inside? I don't think he is. But out from the final corner comes Jake Cranston. This is what it looks like from this far away. You can see Bernie the flagman waving the checkered. And Jake Cranston wins the sprint race at Oran Park. John Bailiff second. Arthur Thurtle takes home P3, just like last week, where he finished P3 in both races. Stephen King, Austin Farr, Dan Downing, Joshua Germany, Marek Ridley, Burkhard Morse, and Jesus Amundere finishes in P12, taking the reverse pole position for Lurchus Gaming Racing Team. Why does it happen at Oran Park every single time? Look at Brandon Hughes in the distance there. That was a nice little shot of him going up the bridge. Where did everyone else finish? We'll go through the order in a second. But first, I think we need to just bask in the Lurchus glory whilst he has it, because this man right here will be starting next to him in the Street Casuals car, and I imagine with his skill level he will be casually trying to take the lead. Although, if he caused that accident there, I'm inclined to give him a strict penalty because he's been warned for it before. Crashing after the race has Henry Morse. Good race, says Slide 17. Jetta's never disappoint. Thank you, Frederick. It is now a break time. And this is what it looks like so far in terms of wins this season. Out of the 9 races we've had, 5th of December is in fact today. So we had round 1 at Donington Park, Burkhard and Bailiff. Round 2 at Brands Hatch, Thurtle and Bailiff. Zandvoort, Burkhard and Germany. Then we had a week break. Then it was a Cranston double, a Burkhard double, Cranston then Toyka, Burkhard then Cranston, Morse then Burkhard then Morse. And today we've got a Cranston, and what is going to happen in the feature race? I do not know. Do not know. Let's have a look at those results one more time. And there it is, 0.4 of a second, the gap between those guys in the end. Let's have a look from Jerry Agard onwards. So P13 for Jerry Agard for Masters of Talk. He should be happy with that. That's a strong result. Timu Toyka P14, Jameson Husman P15, Patrick Dupart 16th, Stephen Burns 17th, Sam Van Olst 18th, Corpus 19th, Greg Otley back up into 20th in the end, Alexander Van der Velde 21st, Donny Henriksen after the early issue 22nd, Holmichael, Manintveld, Caraday. Maninveld's had a mare somehow. Was he caught up in an earlier crash? I can't remember. Dan Blake in 26th, Martin Wallace 27th, Equalaqua 28th. Will be disappointed with that. Dan Thornton will also be disappointed, but it is what it is. It's just that dirt patch on turn 2. I wonder if we'll see it claim any more victims. I'm sure we will. Jan Weisfanger and Brandon Hughes rounding off the field, but everyone on the lead lap, even though Brandon pitted, I believe. Someone's gone out there. Let's have a look at Dan Blake, actually. He didn't get much screen time. And it's a nice little car. Is the Team 12 car. Haven't seen much of it in the later half of the season, as Dan is the only one driving. Rodescu couldn't commit to the full season, and Ade Koba leaving fairly early on after being well within the top 5 was Ade Koba Lopez. But it's always easy to spot on track, is this car in the distance. His number plate says late for how late he signed up to the season. How do the points gets out? 1 to 10th place or everyone gets points? That is a great question, Frederick. It is, in fact, it's new for this season that everybody gets points. Before this, in Season 1 and 2, it was the top 20, I believe. It's so long ago now, I've forgotten. Season 2 was like a year ago. But this one, yeah, everyone gets points this time round. It goes from 1st down to 36. There were 36 drivers in the season. You get 60 points for a win, 55 for 2nd, 50 for 3rd. So for the podium spots, there's 5 points between each one. It then goes down in 2s, all the way down to 20. So 48, 46, 44, 42, blah, 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 all the way down to about 20. And then from 20 downwards, it's separated by 1 point. Big Morello says, I told Dan Blake the season was starting or he'd have probs not driven this year. Yeah, it was it was literally, I think the sign-ups had shut. And I think the grid was nearly confirmed with the reserve drivers. We had a few reserve drivers who we haven't actually seen make appearances this season. But he made it in. And hopefully he's been enjoying the racing. I know it can be stressful at times. It's always finding that balance between practicing and then getting taken out by someone else and being extremely disappointed, or not practicing and then maybe not having the pace and taking yourself out. It's one of those. Or on the positive side, don't practice, turn up and get some good points. But this man did turn up to practice this week. He doesn't usually. He normally does his own little sessions, but he turned up to the public practice this week. He missed 2 rounds. He's currently in P3 in the championship. Let's have a reminder of what the championship looks like. This was before this round. These points are not updated. This is from before the race we've just watched. So Jake Cranston, for that win, would have got 60 points. Morgan Burkhardt, does anyone remember where he finished? Let's have a quick look at this. Oh, of course it's behind. Morgan Burkhardt finished P10. So it's probably around about a 26 point advantage Jake's just pulled on Morgan Burkhardt. Stephen King there in P4. This is impossible maths for me to do right now. Do you think next season will start in September as this season did? It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. I think last year we did a... do you know what? Everything has happened so fast and yet feels so long ago. The RLTC was a touring car championship that we did. And I feel like we did it as the touring cars came out on iRacing. It was very rushed, but it felt very successful. And I highly recommend anyone going to watch the RLTC, even though it's already happened. But it was feisty in those touring cars. There were 10 teams, 3 cars in each team, 1 of each car. So that each team had an Audi, each team had a Honda, each team had a Hyundai. There was the main drivers championship, there was the teams championship, and there was the constructors championship. So the best Hyundai, the best Honda, and the best Audi driver. So plenty going on in that. I've been asked if that's going to come back up for season 2. Not sure. Season 4 of the Jetta Cup is likely, since this is where we started, but I don't know when. And I'm sure you've all seen the announcement of the Toyota GR86, GT86, GR86. We'll go with that one. Depending on how fun that is to drive, we might even run a Toyota-only championship. Yeah, we'll just see how that goes. I have no idea how that car is going to be honest. The BMW is coming out probably this week as well, the hypercar. We won't do a season in that. We don't like quick cars. I mean, I don't mind them, but racing them is difficult. These slower cars make for great racing. And unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye to the Pontiac Solstice as well. The GR86 replacing the Pontiac in the SimLab Production Car Challenge, meaning that the SimLab will now have Mustangs, MX-5s, Jettas, and the Toyota. So that will be interesting. TCRs and Jettas should be on the calendar every year. Jetta is better. September would be way too long without any Jetta action. I agree. But it's definitely, we all need a break for sure. That's not just me speaking. I'm speaking on behalf of many of the drivers there as well. The 10 weeks of racing with 2 break weeks, it can be quite intense. It really can. But it's all part of the fun, and I'm glad that they've done it, because it does make for good entertainment. It's fun to watch. And of course, you get to know them a little bit over the course of the season, maybe through interviews or maybe just through driving. As we tick over into that last minute now, and the feature race is going to tick over any second. And I remember to turn the music off. Have that. It's only taken 10 rounds, and I've done it straight away. Here we go then. Grid time. I've got 1 minute to go through the grid, and Jesus Amundere is up there on pole position. Henry Morse in P2 with Morgan Burkhardt next to him. Carl Ridley, Andre Marek, Joshua Germany, Dan Downing, Austin Farr, Stephen King, Arthur Thurtle, John Bailiff, and Jake Cranston. Your top 12. Very interesting grid that, because Morgan Burkhardt is fighting for the championship. He's got people around there going to be fighting for wins. His rivals are all behind him and have the pace to pass him, but they're going to have to race him extremely hard. After P12, we have Agard, Toyka, Huffman, Depart, Burns, Van Olst, Corpus, Otley, Van der Velde, Henriksen, Holmichael, and Manintveld. Caraday, Blake, Wallace, Lequay, Thornton, Weismanger, and Brandon Hughes rounding off the field there in 31st place. Let's have a look at these two. There we go. The timer is off. The lights are on. You can hear their engines revving. Who's going to get the best start? We haven't seen Jesus start this high up before, and it looks like Henry Morse will have the jump on him. Lap 1 of 20 here at Oran Park. It's a 20-lap feature race here. Remember, they've got pit stops to do, and Jesus Amundere might be under pressure as they head down towards turn 2. Is he going to break on the dirt from the pressure? I don't think he is, but Morgan Burkhardt's going to go down the inside of turn 2 as well. And I think Jesus Amundere goes down to P3 after 2 corners, but it was fun while it lasted, as everyone else seems to be pretty safe. Has anyone gone off in the dirt? Caraday. Alejandro Caraday. I want to have a quick... Can I find it? Was it a dirt break? We need to have a quick look. What happened? Was he pushed? Did he go himself? Well, I mean, it was a bit of both. I think he broke on the dirt. He lost his car before he was touched by Martin. And you can see the whole field in the background. Jesus Amundere, though, has passed Morgan Burkhardt back for P2. Now I'm going to have to struggle to find where he did that, because we cannot miss a Jesus Amundere overtake. We cannot. How did he do that? Oh, he kept it on the inside for turn 3. Hits the apex, does not hit Morgan out the way, and now he's going to have the inside for turn 4. Oh my lord. There we go. And then I think he's going to get the run out on the exit. He does. Jesus Amundere back up into P2, only loses 1 position on the start of the race to Henry Morse. And Morgan Burkhardt will be all over the back of that car. This is what it looks like from the Project Dynamic machine with the Delta Sport sponsorship on the bonnet there. That's the first time we've shouted them out this season, I think, actually. Delta Sport signing a very quick young driver. Oh, look at that. He dives to the inside of turn 3. That looked all fair to me. There was a little bit of contact, but he hit the apex, and it was very late. But I'll tell you what, fair play to Morgan Burkhardt. That was a move. Kyle Ridley now up next for Jesus Amundere as they all come climbing up the hill and over the bridge. Brandon Hughes has just passed Jan Weisvanger round the outside of that corner. That's brave. How's Greg doing, says Bobo1992. He's up in P20. He is currently where he started. That is where he started, but he will be looking to make some gains. Who was that? Dan Thornton and Martin Wallace going side by side, as I see Holmichael as well battling Eric Manintveld through the S's. It's getting very tight through there. Donny Alpha Henriksen's going to be looking to pass Dan Blake as well into the final turn. And I don't think, look at all of those dots on that track map are so close together. Eric Mannenfeld trying to get a switchback on Sebastian Hohlmichael as we see someone coming into the pits. That's Stephen Burns. We'll have to check if that was a meatball because they can't pit before lap 5 without a meatball flag or they risk disqualification. So lap 3 of 20 and we see Stephen Burns and Alexander van der Velde come in. So they must have a meatball and it can be checked on the website as we see Agard and Bailiff side by side. Cranston is in 11th. But he's pulling away from these guys. 1.4 seconds up the road is Jake Cranston as Jameson Huffman sends it down the inside of Jerry Agard and moves up into P13. That was a sneaky little move. 9.7 second stop for Stephen Burns. Alexander van der Velde still in there as Timu Tuika gets a bit of a nudge round that corner from Patrick Dupart, the Polish driver for ORD. Still side by side on the exit. Sam Van Olst trying to pick a driver to follow through. Nudges Patrick Dupart up the rear. Oh, nearly saw a repeat of Stephen King versus Jesus there. 14.6 second stop for Alexander van der Velde. So there's that, but Burkhardt still within 3 tenths of Henry Moore. Sam Van Olst passes Patrick Dupart as a result of whatever just happened through there. I think Alejandro Caraday is nearly a lap down, so he needs to be keeping an eye on this traffic to let people through. Loads of people getting a little bit of sparks on that wall on the exit as we get on to lap 4 now of 20. You can see there's a couple people out of position now then. So Alejandro Caraday on the main straight, I think, is a lap back. Stephen Burns and Alexander van der Velde are also... well, they're actually showing us ahead of Caraday, so I'm not sure how far back as Patrick Dupart goes into the rear of Sam Van Olst. That'll be another 4x that he doesn't want. A 15.7 for Morgan Burkhardt. That is a extreme lap time with only one faster sector, and it's sector 4. That'll be through here, I believe. So flying through is Morgan Burkhardt. After Thurtle has a purple sector. Andre Mayerek has a purple sector. Stephen King has a purple sector. And Timu Tuika has a purple sector. But look at the pressure that Henry Morse is going to have to soak up right now. Morgan Burkhardt, I mean, Henry Morse is a smart driver. They're both American. We've got 2 Americans on the top. Jesus Amundere is still in P3 right now. But Morgan Burkhardt and Henry Morse... Oh, Henry's... Oh, got very close to the wall there. Henry's smart. He knows Morgan's got more to lose than him. And he'll play on that for sure. But I'm sure he'll drive sensibly as well as he's on for another feature race win. He had no wins for so long in this season, and now he might be on for his 3rd in a row, I think. Cranston and King side by side here. Oh, who's that? That is Arthur Thurtle and Jake Cranston making contact, and I think Stephen King is going to gain a position, 2 positions out of that. John Bailiff's going to try and squeeze himself through as well. Making it 3 wide was John Bailiff. He goes up into P11. Stephen King, though, can't quite get the move done on Arthur Thurtle, who's probably helping his teammate Morgan Burkhardt as much as he can right now by trying to hold this lot up. But he needs to do it safely or he risks being DQ'd because we don't have any team foul play here. But at the moment, he is just racing. Carl Ridley still chasing down Jesus Amundere, Joshua Germany. Andre Marek is up in P6. Dan Downing, who I mentioned earlier for having some strong races, as we see Dan Thornton exit the pits on lap 5, which is a lap early, so he needs to have a meatball as well. What was I saying? Dan Downing, who had 2 strong finishes last time out, is up in the top 10 still as well. He is in P8 right now. As we see, Jerry Agard comes flying to the left, and that's John Bailiff going into the pits, nearly collecting Jake Cranston as he went in there very last minute. And Jake Cranston swoops in front of the Frog Leap Juiced racing car and his teammate Jerry Agard, but Jameson Huffman swings it round the outside, and look at that, Jake Cranston does keep that position just about. Great skill from the 2-time Jetta Cup champion as we see more people in the pit lane. Loads of people serving their pit stops early here at Oran Park in the hope that they can get into a rhythm for the final 14 laps. It's the Jesus train choo-choo, says Foxy Andy. Imagine a Jetta 10-hour race or something. Well, there's a Nords. Vince, have I got a treat for you? There is a Nords 12-hour race this weekend on Sunday. It's a multi-class race. It's not just Jettas. But a couple of these guys are in it doing the 12-hour race. So we'll see what happens for them. It's a 12-hour Jetta race, but there's GT4s out there as well. A can't remember if there's GT3s. There's a number of classes, 4 classes I think in total. Huffman is being really hounded, for want of a better word, by Jerry Agard, and there's the accordion effect. What else is that called in racing? Concertina effect. And Sam Van might be gaining on all of that, I think, as he gains past Teemu Toika. He's on the inside for turn 1. He's given him relatively no room to that concrete wall on his right-hand side. Down towards turn 1 they go, and Jesus Amundere and Kyle Ridley have just swapped over positions. Oh, Jesus is going to get turned. Up the wall he goes, and Jesus Amundere's race comes to an end after probably moving over on a car like he did last time out. On the Racing Line Twitch. It's not on my Twitch, Vince. It's on a German stream, but that needs to be watched again. Because Jesus has... We've seen this so many times. That'll be worth a radio message from Jesus, I think. We rarely hear him say anything. But he was doing so well once again for Lurchus Gaming. And it's all ended as we see... Ooh, Weissmanger. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what happens when you get on that dirt. Weissmanger and Hughes coming together. But can we find... Please tell me that replay is on here. Yes, it is. So Joshua Germany is on his left-hand side right now. And Jesus... Wow. Watch this. Let's stay with Jesus' car, because I'm sure he absolutely takes off. That's going to be a picture. Iku is going to have a picture of him jumping over that Marshall post, I am sure. Does he end up facing the right way? Go, 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 go. You can't rejoin unsafely. Go! He's back on the track. Oh, what a shame. I want to watch it one more time. Let's do it full speed this time. What does it look like from the nose? Or the rear? No, the nose. Oh, it actually didn't look too bad from on board. The Marshalls should be okay. One more? Oh, I don't know what to say. I was happy for that man. I really was. I really was. Eric Mannenfeld. We haven't shown a random 1X for a while. Where did he go off track? There. Oh! That was more violent than expected. That's a big crash for Eric Mannenfeld of Street Casuals. You're enjoying this too much. Yeah, I'm sorry, Vince. Kieran Dempsey says, no, Jesus was hoping to see a podium for him. Weren't we all, Kieran? And it's great to see you. For those of you that don't know, Kieran is one of our, we say ex-drivers, but he's still part of the family. And we miss him this season greatly, as Jesus is in the pits in P17. He's still going to get some points here today. So we'll see what happens. In fact, let's have a look. Let's have a catch-up on what the pit stops are doing right now. And the pit stop times. Agard currently has the fastest pit time with an 8.8 second stop. And he is here racing Teemu Toika, who has just come out of the pits with a 9.1 second stop. He's got Stephen Burns for Win It or Bin It behind. John Bailiff is currently the leader of the pit stoppers. And he's just up the road. There he is. Look at that. As I've just noticed on the side of his car, it says SimLab Season 4 2022 Jetta winner. That's technically premature because I could score 500 points in the next race. That's not going to happen. Although there's a weird spec map going on that car, and I can't quite work out what that is. As Morgan Burkhardt and Henry Morse are fighting for the lead, and I think Morgan Burkhardt has just taken it from Henry. How easy was that for the Project Dynamic car? Round the outside of turn 2. Oh, is it contact? No, Henry Morse broke late. Opened up the inside, and there he goes. That'll be annoying. But they're going to race. They're going to continue. Their pace is pretty even. I think Donny Henriksen's had an issue. How? Through here by himself. Oh, broke on the grass. It bites. The track bites. I'm telling you. Oh, that potentially could have been a dangerous rejoin. But John Bailiff still leads the way out of the pit stoppers. Holmichael and Weisswanger are in 12th and 13th right now, up 11 and 17 places because they haven't stopped. But it doesn't matter because they are up there. Anyone beat Jerry Agard's pit stop yet? Mannenveld was pretty close with an 8.9. They're the only 8-second stop, so you would assume they are under-fueling. Kyle Ridley is in P3 right now with Joshua Germany right behind. He's having a good race, is Joshua Germany. Stephen King is in P9. Hasn't stopped yet. He's got Cranston right behind him still. Heading into turn 1. Got someone coming out the pits just behind. Into turn 2. They've got Arthur Thurtle. I'll tell you what. Arthur Thurtle has been in front of these two for a very, very long time. Frogleapin says, going well, Kyle. Go Frogleap Juiced Racing. Mannenveld got hit again. Extremely unlucky, I'm telling you. Wish him the best. Yeah. Christoph Play says, oh, no. Arthur Thurtle has done a very good job here for Project Dynamic. It's got to be said. I don't know if this is his pace or he's just doing the job he needs to. He's got 2 of the championship rivals behind him. And the gap is 2.5 seconds to the cars in front. There's 9 laps left. I'm surprised these two, if he was holding him up, I'm surprised these two didn't come in the pits and try and jump him, to be honest. As we see Donny Alpha Henriksen come in for a second stop. So that's not good for Donny. He might be calling it a day there if he's had another incident. Oh, we saw him, didn't we? Saw him spin, so he's probably pulling in. Maybe he's had enough. None of these guys coming in the pits. Oh, someone's coming in the pits. It's Ridley and Majorek and King and Cranston. They've decided they've had enough of following Arthur Thurtle. Nearly said Alexander van der Velde. He's in 22nd right now. But your four of your big ones are coming in the pits. 6/10 Morgan has pulled away from Henry Morse right now. He's looking very strong with 8 laps to go to take the title for the first time. It says Cranston for 3 on the side of his car, and you gotta say, with a 100-point lead before he went away for 2 weeks, it was looking very, very likely. It's a very difficult man to beat. 8.9 seconds for King in the stops. Where are they going to come out? Who is that behind? That's John Bailiff, who's going to come flying through turn 1, and he does pass them both. But he's not in the lead because now your leader is Kyle Ridley out of the pit stoppers, who's just passed Carraday. Hopefully, nice and quickly, as Carraday is a lap down. We'll probably see the others start to come into the pits very soon as we get on to lap 12 of 20. Sam Van Olst had a 50-second stop for some reason. And there we go. Oh, someone hit the wall there. I think that was Dan Downing. If you got a meatball, at least he can serve it straight away. Yeah, everyone's coming into the pits now. I wonder if Holmichael and Weisswanger they'll be somewhere. Yeah, Sebastian Holmichael, is he coming in? Yes. And Jan Weisswanger? Yes. Okay, so pit lane exit. This is the one. Kyle Ridley. Let's go on board with Kyle Ridley, actually. This is the nose. Probably going to see some of the cars leaving very shortly. I don't think Carl's going to be close enough. He's going to pass Jameson. That's Arthur. Oh, look at that. He's passed Arthur. That's going to be Dan Downing up next. And Joshua Germany. Can he get it done on the brakes? And Austin Farr. Can't quite get it done. There's contact. There's a violent spin. Not quite. Oh, where's Dan Downing? How has that happened? Let's have another look at that from the outside, because I think they were 3 wide or something there, because there's the contact. Oh no, Dan Downing just slots through. Joshua Germany gets forced off, and Andre Marek's going to gain a position as well. I think Carraday is going to try and get out of the way, I imagine. Yeah, stays around the outside. Joshua Germany loses a couple of places. That'll be frustrating. Morse Burkhard Farr, what a sandwich in the top 3. Look at that for Street Casuals. First and third. Mannenveld having another nightmare, but Morse jumping Morgan Burkhard in the pit stops with an 8.7 stop. Austin Farr, I'm going to say, is not going to make it to the end. He's going to have to fuel save massive, to be honest. 8.1 seconds, that's massively quicker than anyone else. Dan Downing, 8.4. This is some crazy pit stop times we're seeing. We can get rid... Oh, Alejandro Carraday slides around the final turn. We can get rid of the pit stops now. Everyone has stopped. This is your current order. for the race lead. Henry Morse in the lead once again. Morgan Burkhardt is going to have to pass him once again. I don't know if Henry will make another mistake like he did before. If he does, it'll be very rare, and I don't think I've ever seen it. I think I can safely say I've never seen Henry make more than one mistake in a race. Unless his head's not in it and he crashed early on and then he's just playing around. But I mean a genuine mistake like we saw then where he broke deep. Joshua Germany and Bailiff swapping over into turn 4. King is in this fight as well. What is that spec map on that car? Some sort of chrome number on there. Can't figure it out. Tell you what we haven't done much of. Onboards. Let's go have another look. Onboard Morgan Burkhardt's car. Gets a lovely view of the Calypso sponsorship on top of the Street Casuals. The high-vis vest on the boot. Ooh, went to have a look into the final turn. Henry Morse defends in the middle of the circuit. That's the best you can do. Moves straight over to the left-hand side. He's going to force Morgan round to the outside here. Down towards turn 1. These two are not going to let this fight go easy. And yeah, Henry gets it stopped and the race continues. He's going to have to defend every corner here. Henry Morse will put up the defence of his life. There's 5 laps left. We're on lap 15 of 20. The more he forces Morgan round the outside, the more he brings Austin Farr, Kyle Ridley, Dan Downing and Andre Majorek into play. That's what he wants. That's what he has to do right now. The strategy for Henry Morse has to be to back Morgan up into the rest of the pack. He's not going to do it on purpose in terms of brake checking him, but he will be doing it as much as he can, just defending his position every time, trying to get Morgan to take a slower line and just trying not to open up that inside. Jesus Samundere is still in P20, just for an update on him. Alexander Van der Velde P19, Martin Wallace and Dan Blake 17th and 18th. David Corpus, your lead Lurchus driver right now, Valdez 31 in P16. Just behind Patrick Dupart, who's had a strong second half of the season. So David Corpus doing well, showing the pace that we knew he had. Is Henry going to move over straight to the right-hand side, left-hand side even, again? Yes, he does. Is Morgan going to take that little bit of a left track? I don't think he's going to. He should. No, he doesn't, because they both move over to take the open line of turn 1. These two, nose to tail. Austin Farr not actually catching up here, which is surprising. Henry needs to do more if he wants Austin to get involved. For a 1-2 for Street Casuals, that'll be impressive. Joshua Germany would be in trouble, actually, because he had to beat Austin Farr today to keep P5. And at the moment, Austin is doing enough, unless he underfueled massively. As Stephen King, I think, has just passed John Bailiff. Arthur Thurtle just passed Joshua Germany as well. That was down the straight of into turn 1 for Arthur Thurtle on Josh. Oh, is that Jake Cranston in there as well? Look, trying to get involved. It was indeed. And I think John Bailiff and Stephen King were just up the road. John goes deep. Let's Stephen have it. Yeah, can't work out what that spec map is. Sorry, win it or bin it. Andy, you do deliveries. I'm going to say it's your fault. Whatever it is. But there's the racing back there. So let's catch back up with these guys. 9/10 of a second the gap to Joshua Germany chucking his race away there by the looks of it. He's going into the pits for a second time. Chucks it into the wall. Don't know why. Can't tell. Is it a meatball? Is it a drive-through? Shall we watch him? It'll be a meatball now, surely, because he's just absolutely ate the wall. Shame. He was doing well, and that pretty much cements his not getting P5, I would say. I didn't touch this one, says Andy Fox. Blame Stevie. I will. Greg Otley was in the pit lane as well. We've seen a lot of double stoppers. That won't be for fuel. That'll be for issues. I wonder if Josh knows that Austin might have underfueled. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe he got an instant limit. But Morgan Burkhardt still trying to fight for that win. He doesn't actually need it, I don't think. I think this is enough. He could just finish P2. But he will want to take and see the season out in style as Henry moves straight over to the left. Let's have a look at the gearbox of Henry Morse. It looks like Morgan might have a run around the outside again. 6,000th, he'll take the lead. Oh, no, not quite. Risky, brakes on the dirt a little bit into turn 2. Can't get it done. Austin Farr closes the gap again. Half a second it is. Now, look at this. He's going to have to defend the next corner, is Henry Morse, because he's on the inside. Morgan Burkhardt around the outside. Now it's bringing Austin Farr into play. This is what they needed to do. Morgan runs a little bit wide. Lap 18 of 20. Amazing defence, says Vince Cussy from Henry Morse. It is indeed. He's doing everything he can. He's positioning his car in all the right places. Casually keeping the lead is Henry Morse for Street Casuals. The winless Henry Morse for the first, 6 rounds. Potentially taking his third feature race win. Sorry, third win in a row. You got a sprint, then a feature, then a feature. Here he goes. Morgan Burkhardt behind. Gonna look to the inside. Can't quite get it done. Wasn't enough of room there. Dan Downing is showing us out, and he's back in. So it was just a little bit of a connection issue. Austin Farr is well within this race now. He's in P3. Can they get a 1-2 for the team? Henry's still trying to do the thing. For those of you that don't know what the thing is, he's trying to let the car behind follow him into that wall, and then he moves over as quick as he can. But I think the more he messes around like that, the more he might struggle to keep this position as they all Constantina right up now. Lap 19 of 20. There's 2 laps to go. And look at the gap between these top 4. I can't even watch the racing across the field. Uses is now up into 19th, chasing down Alexander van der Velde, as is his pace round here. Dan Thornton just passes Jan Weiswanger for 22nd, but Morgan Burkhardt is chasing down Henry Morse. Austin Farr is trying to get a 1-2 for the team. Kyle Ridley might be on for a podium. Andre Mayerek's in a top 5 finish. Dan Downing still in the top 6. Will that be 2 6th place finishes for that man? It could be. John Bailiff and Stephen King in 7th and 8th. Arthur Thurtle Cranston in P10. Cranston put up, he won the first race. He's done everything he can. He's had a nightmare of a feature. It's been a tough one. Arthur Thurtle doing a strong job of holding up a lot of cars in that mid-pack. These two keep pulling away from the 3 behind. Oh, Morgan Burkhardt nearly got his nose in to the final corner, and I think that might have just ruined his run a little bit, as now we see Austin Farr, lap 20 of 20. This is it. What is going to happen here? He's not going to pass Henry into turn 1. He could get it done into turn 2. Is there going to be any contact? I don't know. Ridley down the inside of Austin Farr. There goes Austin's chances of a 1-2 because Ridley's just got the move done. He's on the podium spot. Andre Mayerek behind. I wonder if Austin's got close to a penalty, because that seemed fairly cautious from the American driver there in P4. Ridley giggle 8 brake. Well, it's flat out through turn 1, so there we go. But what is going to happen up ahead? I think this might be it. I can't see anything happening now. Fuel, says Andy Fox. Oh yeah, I forgot. Do you know what? Andy might be right here. We forgot he had a quick stop, didn't he? He's cut it very fine on fuel. Is his car coughing? If he makes it, I'll be very impressed. He's done a cracking job, actually, to be fair, to get to P4. But this is your lead fight up the road. You got Henry Morse is about to take the feature race win yet again. Morgan Burkhardt comes home in P2. Kyle Ridley in P3. Mayerek P4. Austin Farr P5 in the end. Oh, it was close between Austin Farr and Dan Downing. So Austin Farr just coughing down that main straight. Andre Mayerek did get the move done. John Bailiff, Stephen King right behind John Bailiff. So can we have a replay of that? Did he let him through? That looked like Stephen slowed at the line. He did slow at the line. That's interesting. Frog Leapin says, awesome drive from Kyle and podium getters indeed. Do you know what I didn't do? No one reminded me this time because there was so much going on. Didn't vote for driver of the day. So I'll put that link in for you now. Oh, sorry, Biggie Morello. I've just seen it, literally. Just up there. I couldn't see. Oh, yeah. I've seen your second one. I've just scrolled up. Just after we were talking about the livery. Far got closer. The strat. Amazing battling. Ridley, Giga late break. Big dive from Ridley. Fuel, says Andy. Vote driver of the day, said Biggie Morello. Chris Dev on YouTube says, GG Morse. Let's go street casuals. Awesome drive from Kyle. Big GGs. I've got another offer from a name that I can't read for free marketing, but the price is lower than any competitor. Again, I will pass, thank you, but appreciate the offer. I'm sure we all do here and at VCO eSports. But yes, vote for your drive of the day. I've posted the link. And everyone is bringing their cars back. Where is Morgan Burkhardt? I am fairly certain that we don't normally do this until next week, right? I'm fairly certain that that man is your current champion, as he does donuts with Alexander van der Velde for the team. I can't see Arthur. Is Arthur around? Are they doing a Project Dynamic triple spin donut? There's a little donut zone over there, look. I should have put that in the briefing. Timu Toika's doing his donuts. Jameson Huffman gets a little bit of a crash. It's the final round. Final race. They're trying to do their celebrations. Some of it's working, some of it's not. Stephen King's just parked there, and there he goes. He disappears. John Bailiff doing his donuts. Season 4 2022 Jetta winner of the SimLab Production Car Championship. Liz Create says, thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for watching, Liz. The support is appreciated. Morgan Burkhardt's parked his damaged car there for a nice championship photo with no bonnet. Jameson Huffman and John getting a bit close. Everyone else well into the pits. I didn't see anyone. Did anyone take a jump or anything at the end? I don't think Austin had enough fuel to be honest. Oh, he's going to try. Is he going to try? No. 10 rounds in. 20 races. Oh, and it's done. Just like that, it's over. Let's go all the way back to the start, and then we can get some interviews done. We'll check driver of the day. It is interview time. Who should we speak to? Shall I check driver of the day first? Let's see what the votes are saying. Results. I wouldn't argue that. Sorry, just reading. I just wanted to confirm something. I think it is... Yeah, Henry Morse is your driver of the day. So we will get that man in. We'll speak to a few people today since it's the final round. And we'll normally speak to people as well next week in the championship race. I'm going to plug that one more time. The championship race is open to everyone. It's free. It's next week. It's the same time. It will likely be in the Jettas. I'm not sure what track yet. We might even do a send-off for the Pontiac since it's being retired. But let's bring in Henry Morse, your feature race winner for the second week in a row, but third week in a row where he's won a race after winning nothing for more than half of a season. And here he is, your driver of the day. Henry, how was that?
That was very challenging. I'm surprised that I don't know. I mean, Morgan caught me so quickly, and then once he was ahead, He didn't really pull away that much at all. Actually, didn't really pull away at all. He got up to about 7/10, and I was able to hang on. Um, yeah, that was really tough. I made that mistake. Um, I overshot the braking into turn 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then to say grinding C fix this week definitely paid off in the pit lane because that was pretty cool.
That's probably one of your best pit stops of the season. And was it worth it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was definitely very inspired, and at this point in the season, it's like, I'd rather win or take a penalty trying than than just be like, oh, I'll get second, whatever, because there's not a whole lot to gain or lose at this point. I don't really care if I finish 7th or 8th or 9th in the points, and the team's pretty locked into second. So, yeah, I figured I'd just full send in there. I practiced it a lot during the warm up just now, and yeah, obviously couldn't have gone a whole lot better. So that was great.
Was you worried about fuel at all? Because I feel like your time wasn't much different to Austin's, who did run out of fuel at the end.
Yeah, I had a lot of extra fuel. I got 1 lap to go with 2 turns to go in the race, so I could have pitted way faster, actually.
Did it ever enter your mind to? I mean, you kept obviously defending and forcing Morgan around the outside. Was there any part of you that just wanted to do it a little bit extra than you had to, just to sort of get Austin in there, or was it just you were focused on leading and just staying ahead?
I wanted to, but I wasn't gonna do any unnecessary risks, and I also knew that Austin was short on fuel, so he actually was. It's actually really shocking that he made it, considering how short he was after the pits.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he was like at least half a lap short after he pitted, and he had to fuel save a bunch and then let Kyle by and sputter across the line. So I was not thinking about Austin making in there. Although of course it was a thought, like, if I held him up enough, that Austin would, send in there.
Of course.
Just get his nose in there.
And a 1st and 5th for the team is still a strong result, especially since he underfueled that much. And with, actually, I don't know where you would be with another win, but Austin Farr definitely would have passed Joshua Germany after his 30th place finish. I'm assuming you might have as well, actually, because that is a massive difference, which means one of you is going to be P5, top 5 in the championship.
And it's also cool because I'm pretty sure with it's funny, the last 2 rounds, me and Morgan both won a race, and we're kind of vying for 2nd place in the most statistically successful Jetta Cup driver. But I think now that makes me a 2nd most because I won a race and he didn't this time.
That is a true statement. Let me just have a look. I opened that up earlier, the stats page. Out of our 3 seasons in the Jetta Cup before today, you two are 2nd and 3rd most successful in the series with 10 wins each. And you now have 11 wins, which makes you the 2nd most successful Jetta driver in the series. That's correct?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. This is a very tough crowd.
And Stephen King, a winless season, who has been in that spot for a while, is now 4th. But Jake Cranston's still on 90. Well, he'll be on 20 wins now because he won the first race. Is that catchable?
Oh God, probably not if we both continue to compete in the same number of races.
True.
If I'm honest.
It's fast. Well, congratulations on the win yet again. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
I would love to say hello and thank you to Riley for possibly tuning in and always being very supportive. Huge thank you to my family and my friends who are watching. Huge thank you to, of course, Calypso Lemonade. And I wanted to give a shout out to my boy Duncan. Free my boy. He ain't done nothing.
Okay. See you later. There goes Henry Morse. Next up, let's go for... We got to bring him in. Let's speak to Jake next up. Mr. Cranston, he's won another race. That makes him 20-time Jetta Cup race winner, I believe, now. And I'm not sure how well, after that race, maybe it's not that close. But after the first race, it was looking like it still might be possible. How are you feeling after today's race?
Yeah, hey, I'm feeling all right. I think it's evened itself out. So it's probably just the same as what it was before the event, but we all just have some more points.
Of course. But the question you're probably asking in your own head is it, what's the gap? Is it 100 points? How many, that 2 week, in your head, you must know that it was looking likely for a third title. But obviously a strong, a decent fun weekend in Dubai though, may have been a decent trade-off, I guess, with the 90s F1 cars and stuff. But you turned up today, you got another race win. Where did you finish in the feature? I've forgotten.
10th.
10th. And was there anyone in particular that was just extra hard to get past today? It looked like Arthur Thurtle was throwing up a hell of a defense to some of the guys. I don't know if that was the same for yourself.
No, it's just really difficult to pass here. Everyone's just sort of similar speed, so there's not really any corners you can get a run on. It's just difficult to race. So yeah, I was just stuck behind Arthur and Stephen. Then I accidentally overtook both of them, kind of hit them, so I let them back through, and I was just falling off from there. I couldn't really keep up.
Well, that's fair enough. I forgot what I was going to say. Have you had a think about what we should do next week in terms of circuits if you're around?
I just didn't expect this question, Jack.
Yeah, I know. I put you on the spot now.
Big pressure. What did I say in the chat?
I can't remember. Some people have been throwing up the dirt oval options again, or the rallycross tracks in the Jettas.
No, that'd be awful. If you're doing an oval, do like a super speedway thing. That'd be fun.
That'd take forever in these things, but maybe.
Do like Charlotte or something.
Is there, because I'm going to drag the Project Dynamic boys in a second, but before I let you go, is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to, Jake, for the final time this season, season 3?
Yeah, hello to Ellen, Ali, Dave, my mum, dad, grandparents have been watching this season. Thank you for watching and supporting me. I know you've enjoyed watching it, and also congratulations to Morgan on the W. I've personally handed him the number 1 already, so he can have that.
Oh, you handed it over personally. Threw it through your Jetta window into his car. Take it. You've had it too long.
Just chucked it away. Yeah.
We've almost forgotten your race number, so that means if a season 4 comes around, we're going to see the 78 return. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, that'll be something. And Morgan just loses. He's already number 2 anyway. Picked that number wisely, didn't it? Well, thank you, Jake. Congratulations. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thanks.
There goes Jake Cranston, 2-time Jetta Cup champion, almost 3-time, but not to be. But that is because do you know what? We haven't done this for a while. Let's try bringing the whole Project Dynamic team in. We've got Alexander van der Velde, Arthur Thurtle, and Morgan Burkhardt, Season 3 Jetta Cup champion. How does that sound?
It sounds pretty good.
It sounds pretty good. You've tried for 3 seasons. It was close last season. Let's run this back. Season 1, an absolute nightmare. Crashes everywhere. Not your fault half the time. Maybe your fault sometimes. But still had pace. Second season, you were there all season. In fact, I think you led most of... Actually, Jake Cranston led a lot of it. But you were there on his tail. And then in the last few rounds, dropped it. The RLTC came around, and that was tense. But you got that by what was it, 7 points or something small? That was good.
2, yeah.
2 points. Oh, wow. Forgot about that. So that was insane. So you're a touring car champion, Racing Line touring car champion, and now the Racing Line Volkswagen Jetta Cup champion. Finally. The number 1 car is yours if we do another season. But, I mean... talk us through that feature race, because that's probably where you had the most action by the looks of it from our point of view. You were on Henry's tail for most of it. He made a mistake in turn 2. You got the lead. He underfueled or something in the pit stops to get back past, and then just put up the defense of his life. How was that from your point of view?
Well, I didn't really want to side by side him for real anywhere, so I knew the only way I was going to get by him was to bait him. And I did that in turn 1. Made him drop tires and just go deep, and I got around him that way. But then he learned that that was my play, and I didn't really want to force any errors. I overfueled in the stops. I went a little bit slower just to make sure I didn't get a speeding penalty, and just was super cautious the whole time. And I kept applying pressure to see if he would just loop it or make a mistake on his own. And unfortunately, he never did. But I'm happy with the second place, and he was able to bring down the championship.
It looked like, from what I could see off board, it looked like your best opportunity kept coming up at, despite turn 2 being one of the main zones. It actually looked like the final turn where you had sort of an edge on Henry, maybe coming out of the fast left. Because every time you got to the final turn, he was just driving in the middle of the circuit. And like you said, you didn't want to take any risks putting it down the inside there. But it looked like you could have a couple times. And then sometimes it looked like you might have had the run on the exit, but you really moved over left straight away to try and stop you from getting it. Did you feel like that was your best opportunity, or was it literally just a case of taking it when it came up?
If I knew if I was going to really try for the move, it was going to be in the last corner, because I was getting such a good run out of the chicane and the corner before the chicane. So if I was going to really go for it, it was going to be there. But I knew it wasn't really a place that I was going to be able to make a mistake. So I was really focusing on turn 1 and 2 and just trying to get him offline, get him into something he hadn't done before. And yeah.
And we'll just come over to Arthur quickly, because you didn't really have a quiet race either. Could you walk us through? It was suggested that you may have been not driving at 100%, not maliciously, but just doing the absolute best teammate thing and not letting any rivals through. Or was you just racing your own race and that's just how it looked? Talk us through it, Arthur.
Oh, the second race, I was trying my best to win that one. The first race, I was trying my best to win that one. But yeah, Jake slowly plugged away at me, and I made a little mistake, and then he was on me then. But no, the second race, yeah, I was sort of just doing my own thing, really. I wasn't trying to push 100%, like give it 100%, because I didn't want the tyres to go off towards the end, because the temperatures were quite high. I wanted to make sure I had some tyres towards the end. But no, I was. You know, I think if you look at my lap times, I think they're almost exactly the same as what I was doing in lap 1. I did drop out of the toe where Jake went up the inside of Stephen and then nearly went up the inside of me as well, and that forced all 3 of us out the toe, and that made it a bit more difficult. But no, if I was behind that group and the chance came up, I was going to be doing overtakes.
And you've had a hell of a debut season, Arthur, as well for Project Dynamic. It's been very, very up and down. You've had a race win. You actually draw. There's only 2 drivers this season who have scored more than 1 pole position, and that is you and Morgan, who have 3 apiece after today. So 6 in total out of the 10. And what did we have? We had a race win. Was it at Brands? You pulled off a great move.
That was the one I wanted to win.
Yeah, it was great to watch, and it definitely cemented yourself in. And then then you started experiencing all of those mistakes that many of the drivers made in their first seasons, like pit stop mistakes and all this sort of stuff. But overall, how coming into the championship at this stage in our 3rd season, where the levels have, I mean, Morgan can speak for this for sure, from coming from season 1, where the levels have changed, shall we say, in terms of the skill. Coming in at this point as a newbie, obviously you're on iRacing a lot and you've got a high I rating or whatever, you race the GT4s, but how has this experience been as a debutant to the Jetta Cup?
I mean, it's been brilliant, because I think I'd raced with a lot of you guys before I joined this, but I always knew I was competitive with everyone, and so I was hoping that I could at least get 1 win in the season, which I managed to do in the second race. And then it was I nearly won the first one when I lost out to John by 0.003 of a second. So at that point, I didn't think I'd be able to win the season, because I missed 2 rounds. But I was thinking I might be able to get top 10 or something like that with the 2 missed rounds. But because I knew I wasn't going to win, I was always giving Morgan the toe in qualifying, because me and Morgan were very close on pace all the time. I always went in front to give Morgan the best opportunity possible to get on pole. And the toe wasn't that important tonight. That's how I managed to get on pole, I think, because it didn't make too much difference. But yeah, after Brands, it just went awful because I was giving Morgan the tow. I wasn't qualifying up high myself, and it was putting me in mid pack. And some of the tracks weren't the easiest to try and race side by side with. And yeah, you only need one person to make a mistake in front of you, and that's it. You've had it. And I mean, that's what happened to Zandvoort. I think both races I didn't make it past the second or third lap or something.
Yeah, Zandvoort was a tricky one for sure. I'm gonna ask the same question actually to Mr. Van der Velde, our favourite resident Dutch driver.
Hello.
You've had some interesting incidents as well this season. I think Long Beach is one that stands out in my head where you ended up parked on a wall.
I was on top of something.
Yeah, but same question in terms of previous seasons. So you joined us in season 2. Which was P8 in the standings. Obviously, the points were different, and the way it all worked was a little bit different. But P8 in the standings, 1 point behind Donny Henriksen in P7. And then come to this season, how much has it changed?
In all fairness, just the level of driving has increased tremendously. I have often found myself going into a session being on the back foot by just being off pace, by just trying to hang on to these two guys and not being able to handle it, and have to really use their toes to get up front, and then just having some ifs and buts here and there, and just bad decisions from my own end, internet conking out what I'm actually finding up front, being on top of walls. It's been a very up and down season for me, and I'm happy to be part of it, and I hope they'll have me back next season, because especially the later end of the season, it was just not good enough. It's not to end on a downer, but I did enjoy myself a lot this season. But compared to these two, they've been on another level, and that's been the whole league.
But as the team boss, Project Dynamic coming in as a very strong team, and they've put themselves very much in terms of statistics in one season. With your driver lineup as it is, put yourselves very much up there in the top teams for sure. And bizarrely enough, actually looking at the points before this round, I said you were 7th and 8th, Donny Henriksen and you, and at the moment you're actually next to each other. I haven't seen the updated points, but Donny Henriksen and you are next to each other in the standings again. You were 20th and 21st, so it's ended up in the same order. Just a load of people sort of swapping over. Arthur, again before this round's points, you're actually 19th, so in that same area, but a couple rounds missed. Did both of you miss a couple rounds?
I missed one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many Henriksen missed, but it's it does show how the season just overall just driving has improved. It's gone from something that I had some trouble doing it with to be absolutely struggling to be in the top 20 here. It really shows.
And then let's go in before we end and round off the stream. Let's go in reverse order. So starting with yourself, Alex. Before I let you go, is there anyone that you want to say hello or thank you to? And then we'll go to Arthur, and then we'll go to Morgan for the final word, our new season champion, and then we'll end off the stream. So starting with you, Alex. Who do you want to say hello and thank you to?
I'd probably say mom and dad if they're watching, and they do often tune in from time to time. Maybe Shane if he's finally not scared enough to actually do this, and my mate Rutger, who's been a friend of mine for the last 20 years and does tune into these streams. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, to be honest, Jack, because I don't think I never appreciated it myself from when I was watching the racing. Anyone watching that hasn't raced in this doesn't know how much work and effort and time this actually takes to organise. I mean, every week we've got the races on Monday, then you go through both races, look at all the incidents, and then you dish out the penalties and look at everything and evaluate it and give the reasons why. And then on the race days we have the drivers briefings that you have to type up, and it must take so much of your time, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'd just like to thank you for it.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Over to you, Morgan.
First of all, I'd like to say a thank you to Jake for being another really good guy to race, and Steven as well, all season long. I just wanted to say that this one's Jake's basically third championship after missing 2 rounds and still being third or fourth or wherever he did end up finishing. It's very impressive, and I got to give it to him. That's an incredible showing. So, but yeah, thank you to Gilles LeBlanc at Project Dynamic and Alex and Arthur for helping me all season long and just being wonderful teammates, and everybody else on the grid for, we always have a good time. We put on shows. Sometimes it's a little bit argy-bargy, but it's still a lot of fun. And of course, thank you to you for, putting on the streams, making everything look pretty and all that. So
No
it
worries.
looks really nice, and I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you very much, Project Dynamic. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, thanks for having us.
There you go. All 3 of those drivers. Good to have them. Good to have them in the chat. And thank you guys, everyone that's watched along with us definitely for, I know we've seen a few new people join sort of mid-season in terms of viewers, and stuck with us every week, it really is greatly appreciated. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for those of you that have joined in chat. Biggie Morello, Valdez, Frederick, Ostap, Christoph, of course, tweeting us as well. We've got Twitter at TRL Racing Line. Genuinely, I keep saying this as well, and I don't feel like people do it that often. Where is it? If I just put this up, theracingline.org, which is sort of run by Stephen King, one of the Pulsus drivers. It looks very nice. He puts in a lot of work to that, as does Iku with his pictures. There's a lot of really nice looking pictures on there from the season if you want to have a look over of what happened. There's standings page, of course, which will be updated as soon as the penalties are sorted. There is statistics where you can see all of the previous drivers that we've ever had and where they rank up compared to everyone else. For example, I'll throw in a Season 1 driver, Charles Rainford, who's only done 4 races, but he's in there in the top 8 drivers we've ever had because he won a number of those. Anyone that watches Porsche races will know he's actually a Porsche champion this season in real life. So that's good for him. What else have we got on there? The RLTC, which we only done 1 season of so far, is very worth a watch. As you heard, Morgan only won it by 2 points in the end. Spoiler alert, but it's very much worth watching the journey. Comment on any of those streams if you do go and rewatch them. Yeah, and just thank you to VCO eSports, thank you to GT Omega for being with us on Season 3, and hopefully long may our partnerships continue into whatever the next one. Frog Leaping says, enjoyed the race and stream. Hell yeah, let's go. I think it's only right to say, before I say the usual outro, we'll watch the Jetta Cup intro for Season 3 one last time before we play it out. So as usual, this is pretty much it from me. A goodbye from the Volkswagen Jetta Cup powered by GT Amigo in partnership with VCO eSports on YouTube and Twitch, hosted by me, Jack Johns. The round 10 finale at Oran Park is over. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace. Don't come away, swoop around the outside! Joshua Germany putting up an almighty defence! Garrett Kaler taking his second win. Stephen King for Pulsus eSports makes it 3 for 3 at Oran Park. Andy Fox wins! Henry Morse makes it the double and takes another win here at Watkins Glen. Blake comes around the final corner and across the line. Jameson Husband has done it. Championship rival Morgan Burkhardt wins again. And there we have it. 2-time Jetta Cup champion, Jake Cranston.